Live. Morning, everybody.
Yeah. Good morning.
This is a part of a 6 webinar series where we are building towards giving you all the knowledge you need to start working with agents back in your organization, whether it's real estate or it's facility management. Today we are focusing on autonomous FM facility management assistant. And later we will also tell about how you go from the data chaos to get structured data that you can believe in and have trust in, that the data actually also validated. We go through change management, how agents will work with the humans in your team in June, and as the end of this series before summer, it's about permission policies and guardrails. So how you can explain to your IT or governance department that this is actually also a safe way to go. And today, a bit more in details. We have been very active in the market even since the last time 2 weeks ago. So we'll just give you a little bit of a wrap up of what we heard others are saying about all this with the agentic AI. We'll take it from the facility management organization as it usually is today, and look into how you can make autonomous facility management processes and roles. We will look into the workflow foundation that is already in Proptech OS, in the operating system of Proptech OS. It has been there for 4 or 5 years. And we'll use a typical alarm to a work order process. I guess many of you knows how much time you spend on that. And that will lead us get us into the agent framework and the showcase. And as usual, we'll summarize and invite you to a deep dive and explain the next steps. So, Per, you were attending our event yesterday. It was in Stockholm with Microsoft.
Yeah, we had a packed room. What was intended to be a small roundtable discussion with up to 5 people turned out to be, as you see on the left there, a packed room of 50 decision makers in the real estate industry, and we had Charlie Lagervik, who was previously owned the retail vertical for Microsoft Fabric and AI, and is now go-to-market lead in the Nordics for AI. And it was very interesting to hear what they are doing. They have some examples already fresh out the oven, of course, and their framework of how to go about this, how to think about processes and tasks and of how to prioritize and think about use cases and value. So I think it was very fortunate to have Charlie share what he and what they see, and it was also a very interesting. It was even if it was more than 5 people, it was still most of it was a dialogue and a discussion in the room, and that was also very, very interesting. What apart from sort of the theoretical framework and the examples that Charlie came with, I also was impressed yesterday with how many in the real estate industry. This was 48 property owners. And I think it was one or two other consultants or vendors apart from us, and most, if not all, had started on agentifying their workflows, even if most of them had started on the IT side with things related to support or more sort of commercial workflows. But it was, I think. This is a quiet revolution, and it's I think if it was 4 weeks since we last did one of these together, I think it's even if there hasn't been a boom in those 4 weeks, quite a lot has happened. I think We have a similar sort of getting the pulse from the market every week or so, and it changes. I think the share of companies who have started or who have something in production increases week by week, and that was very interesting.
Yeah. And I was attending the Danish Facility Management Conference in Denmark. It's a annual 2-day conference with more than 200 participants from large Danish facility management organizations or companies, mainly on the strategic level. So there was a lot of strategic approach also to agentic AI. I think one of the key takeaways was that now people actually believes, or FM departments believes in that this is something that can solve a lot of stuff. And I was very, very happy to see Henrik Jarleskog from Lead with AI. He was doing a keynote telling about how they work with leading Fortune 100 companies across the world to help them this transformation. And he had specifically focused on how agentic AI and generative AI will impact how we work, the workplaces and workplace strategies. And I was allowed to actually, I can show you this, that he's looking into also your as a person or a team, how you save hours, a lot of hours by using these tools. He calls them the superpowers. You will become a super worker because you replace all this what they call busy work crap. A lot of manual, low value work. You know how it is. Copy paste into an Excel spreadsheet. That stuff, very boring stuff actually also. And talking about that, we will not be measured anymore on FTEs. How big is your company? We have 6,000 employees. Oh, good. You must be big. It's actually impact per hour, because all these agents, they are your extra tools to work more efficient. So it's outcome that what do you actually produce? What impact do you as a person in a team or you as a company actually provide? Very, very interesting. So that's some of the feedback and some of the market trends we see now, that agentic AI is becoming not only buzzwords and strategies, but actually also customers are taking this in now and doing pilots and a strategic approach to this. Let's go to a typical facility management or real estate management department. In this webinar here, we are not spending so much focus on the real estate processes. This is about the facility processes. And we have made this very simple, where we divide the field operations, the technical operations that is usually centrally defined or managed. We have not been looking into how who has which responsibility, how much is insourced, outsourced, and that stuff. But looking into also some of the stakeholders, that when you do and when you work with this technologies, there is some legal and risk department you need to involve. Of course, the IT with data governance, data compliance, and IT/OT. This is becoming a huge. It's both a potential, but also a potential blocker if you don't have right governance on your data. Because years ago, the facility management, it was the blue collar guys that was out in the cellars and fixing water leakage and that stuff. Now we see that facility management as well as real estate is becoming a more strategic part of the business. Understanding actually the business and translating that to how you want to run your buildings for your tenants.
And we're trying to understand, we're trying to map out along with everyone else what what are the tasks, what work is being done in the real estate industry, and follow how it will be automated. We are obsessed with this 37% of all work in the real estate industry being automatable with last year's technology. And this is our developing story of what those processes, what that work is, and what of it is automatable, and what of all of that work is automatable or supported with where we play a role, our agents.
Yeah. And speaking with the people that has to manage this change, I also see that, or hear from them, learn from them that it's not a discussion about this, who will take our jobs. I see a common understanding, and that actually these agents will support doing all the work we don't do today because we are too busy. And when suddenly these manual processes are being removed from you or your team, you can either insource some of the work you've actually outsourced before, saving costs, but your employees, your team will work with much more value related work. You can, as somebody says, you can leave the desk, get out. If you're workplace manager, don't sit behind your desk, go out and speak with your tenants. If you're the property manager or the local technical officer, you can be at your tenants instead of sitting behind the screen doing alarm analytics. And Per, we have a solution for that.
Yeah, and just framing the topic of today a little bit. So we are we have built Proptech OS and the agent suite, and we have been involved in building in parallel real estate core. So from a data perspective, and from a sort of from a data and software and AI perspective, or the artery and sort of the main bloodstream of the FM processes are what is called service objects in real estate core. So whether it's an alarm that stems from a technical alarm with different criticality levels, or whether it's an error report coming from a human tenant or a staff team member, or if it's a work order, which could be planned or unplanned, could be about inspecting something every quarter, every year, every 3 years. But so all of them are from the perspective of the AI agents and from real estate core. They are all different kinds of service objects.
So Per,
yeah,
what you say is that this service object is not a proprietary thing that we in Proptech OS have made. It's actually a part of the global open source ontology.
Yeah. This is part of real estate core, and we are trying to make use of what real estate core has provided as good as possible. And this is this is one of the key ways in which Proptech OS and agents can communicate with the outside world. One is, of course, that we agents can change configurations and set points and control systems. But the other one is to either create or change or update these service objects. So whether it's closing or changing the status of an error report, reprioritizing an alarm, or creating a work order for something that an agent have identified. This is the way to sort of to transfer software and information technology into physical activity of someone going out to inspect or to change something. And so a lot of what we are going to talk about today, the means of transferring this into the facility management system or into the field operator, is via service object, and it's mirroring in an SMS or an email for someone to do something. Or just as important as we'll talk about, being able to decrease the number of error reports, alarms, work orders, which is currently flooding all systems. But yeah, this is just
supporting, and the supporting actually the underlying supporting the manual process that we usually companies usually do in 3 or 4 or 5 different systems with an asset that have 3 or 4 or 5 different names across these systems.
Yeah, exactly. That usually there's an asset. Yeah, I think we can get back to that when we look at the specifics.
So what is it about this 99 plus?
I think this, in order to not embarrass anyone, this is a synthetic screenshot, but this is the having worked in this industry now for coming up to almost I think it will be 10 years soon in some way or another. I have never seen a BMS system or a SCADA system or a facility management system or a customer support system in the real estate industry that didn't have too many open tickets or reports or alarms or warnings, too many open to see. That I have never seen the number of how many there are. It just says whether it's 900 plus or 99 plus. It just more than could be shown. The reality is that the last couple of years of traditional technology has been great at really creating more unhandled tickets, and this is the challenge of the agentic facility management helpers will come and address to take away the noise.
And if we continue doing what we do today in the organizations, we just get even more alarms. Even though we add generative AI to do explanations of these alarms, okay, then you just understand better what is wrong, but you still have to do some manual work to get this alarm into a workflow to fix it, either with a work order or because maybe there was a reason why your energy consumption was.
We see how a lot of processes around all industries are now going 10 times or 100 times as quick as it did last year, and if that continues with the creation of valid or invalid alarms or work orders or suggestions or notifications, it will just make an unmanageable problem completely uncontrolled. So this is when we think about FM, we think about we call it internally the 99 plus problem. That just there are we have been guilty in the past of creating more notifications and alarms and suggestions, but this is what we have before us now is really the objective is to decrease the number of tickets.
And actually, there's a reason why we get more and more alarms, because buildings have more and more sensors, more and more data. You get more and more insight. You have alarms from energy management, access control systems, and it's of course spread in a lot of different systems. But it's coming after we have added so much tech and data and sensors in our buildings, because 15 years ago, you would never find out that you had a water leakage in a toilet. Today, you measure it, and we have thousands of data points. That's a reason. It's not because buildings are not run in an optimal way. Now we just get so much more insight.
Hmm.
Let's
And also just getting those of you who have followed us from the start know we started on the fundamentals of breaking down the different categories of work: planned physical activity, unplanned data processing, data gathering, and expertise, etc. But if we think of not what the work is, but how it is orchestrated. When we now sort of not only think about what work can be done and how it can be done, but the processes. So what the organizations and very clearly FM organizations boil down to is a number of processes, and they have I remember that earlier in an earlier life, I did a lot of business process modeling and business process notation language. BPNL was something where you would have a more structured way of describing what happens in a company. But you have something that triggers something, whether it is something that should be done on a schedule or conditions that change, something incoming from externally. And then a workflow or a process will be a number of tasks that are handed over from where there is a handoff from one task to another. And in most processes, there will be a decision or a sort of a fork in the road to decide whether to go on or not, whether to do A or B, and then some subsequent tasks based on that decision, and often carrying out something to get the result. Sometimes this is very well documented in organizations. Sometimes you have it informally documented. For instance, we use a project management system called Jira for everything we do. So when we approached the question of automating and agentifying what we do, we had we didn't have our processes defined beforehand. It had emerged, the different handoffs had emerged, but we have a corpus of 12,000 tasks that we have carried out over the previous 2 years, and who have been involved and in what sequence and what they were about and what they were their categories. And that was our way of getting back to the volume and the pattern of our processes and our tasks. But another thing to just before we move on is for FM processes, you don't need to automate the entire process end to end to start with, but rather you pick some tasks that have a high value in automating, or that are easy to automate, or even better if they are a combination of the two. And then when you figure out how to automate them, you can go on and sort of fill the box of automating more and more in an entire process, and then figure out what the stakes and trust is involved, and what the compliance and the guardrails need to be done. But the point is just to not confuse task and process, and not think that you need to automate end to end. It's all or nothing, that you start somewhere.
Yeah, and I think some of the good things is that you can begin work with agents on your existing process. That means that you do not need to do a big change process with 15 or 100 humans involved. You can add that. It's good. It's not. It will not change the world if you do that, but it will support. You'll save some work, but you can also use agents to really change the way you work, and that is where the big value is. But you don't need to go directly to this very strategic approach. You can actually look into what you do today. Of course, have a look at our webinars, and then you can define these 5 or 10 processes that are so easy. It's really a no-brainers to add a little bit of automation to these.
And it can also start with on a task per task basis, that you start with an assistant that will help the traditional work be faster or better, and then it could go towards complete automation of a task, and then it could grow to more and more automation of a process. But anyway, this is just so we have some sort of a background and framework. And what is it that that agents can do? So one thing would be to as an either autonomous or as an assistant to prepare whatever work that the real experts need to do, the real domain experts that carry out the work need to do. So in facility management, this usually means that there is a homework phase to most work that needs to be done. Most tasks are preceded by some homework, fetching context in terms of metadata, documentation, or historical data, or KPIs. That is perfect for agents to do, and that is something that is probably very specific to your exact ways of working. But this preparation work can mean that it would be the first sub-task of a process would be automated. The other one is this more addressing completely this 99+ problem, filtering and carrying out minor decisions, whether it is just replying to something or just confirming something that had been done. And this is when we think of things that are both easy to do and having high impact, this filtering and denoising the alarms, work orders, error reports is very near the top of the list when you do these kinds of scorings. And this is what the 99+ problem usually results in, is that we have a sort of intuitive understanding of what the health of our buildings and the happiness of our tenants are. We have a 99+ tickets, but we have an sort of intuitive understanding of whether it's increasing or decreasing. And by filtering and by removing false positives, that which so error reports or alarms that actually are not errors or not alarm are not valid alarms, would mean that you would be able to really go by the data and not this intuitive understanding of what's beneath the data. So filtering and taking away all the minor tickets is a huge potential. And for some things to carry out, let the agent do something end to end, where you would go to this taking a days or hours into zero time for human work. So whether this is doing something that is recurring every this or that many weeks or months, you gather data and aggregate, or you make seasonal control changes in a building, whatever it is. There are some low stakes and completely virtual processes that agents can carry out end to end. And it might not be it might be that this is has a higher impact, but it takes a little bit more work in order to get it done. But this that is also some category of work that we aim for. And then for the majority of the more what is left when we have filtered out the noise, will probably be for a long while to prepare, suggest, and analyze issues, where agents will not carry it out, but where they will just present the real experts with a suggestion of an analysis, a synthesis, and an action plan. So this carrying out the process, not entirely, but up until it's suitable for a human to be in the loop.
And Per, this is running in Proptech OS, right?
Yeah, we do all of this.
Can you show some of this?
Yeah, so if we have got feedback to make sure we don't stress through complex demos too much, but all of this is not things that you could do in the future, but things that we do today. So we'll have a look at in practice in Proptech OS, and then the last is this apart from having agentic automation end to end, is this going from reactive to preventive, from being from analyzing data that happens to predicting events that will happen, and this is being able to plug in data and agents to help humans be more proactive and more preventive in facility management and in maintenance. It's also something that will take down these 200 alarms saying that something has broken into one preventive and predictive maintenance work order. But yeah,
I think this is a really good explanation on when we are talking about that your facility management goes from reactive to proactive. This is the explanation on how to approach it, actually.
And these, I think there are probably many versions of the same slide where this is as a staircase or as a mountain to climb, where if you have agents doing the preparation and the homework phase, then afterwards you can route it, whether it should be also perform some prediction or some other more active analysis. But when it comes down to it, when we just look at what the work that is being done in facility management now, it's these are the categories where agents can make a significant contribution.
So there is different approaches to this. It can be this use case driven. We have a problem or pain, and we solve it in our team or you as a individual. And another approach is more strategic, that what do we actually also have of data? Where do we get the easiest benefits? Combined, of course, we need some use cases or some pains to solve. It's two different approaches, and well, I think our experience is after working with as long as 6 months with this, it's not a long time in that sense, but there is no real way to do this. It's really much about is it a strategic top down, or is it bottom up approach? This slide was presented yesterday, or this model by Charlie Lagervik from Microsoft, and it's actually very interesting because these use cases, of course, the ones that has a high feasibility and a high business value, do it now. If it has a high business value, invest in that, because maybe you have a really good use case, energy flexibility, peak shaving. Very few has the data for this, or has actually also the agreements with the operators, net operators. But there's a huge potential in terms of CO2 reductions. So that's a good example. And another thing I like with this is that, well, first I saw this, well, it's textbooks page 1 within strategic changes. And that's a good thing, because, well, AI, it might be new and stuff, but hey, you can use what you learned 5 or 10, 15 or 30 years ago to also do this change. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I think it's simple models are always better than complex ones.
Yes.
Says Occam's razor, but it's also that since now where the cost of executing projects and especially technology projects are going down to zero, it is just looking at ourselves also. It's easy to get lost and forget to prioritize because you're so sort of boosted by all the possibilities that you have. So I think it's I think it.
You're right.
All truths are more relevant than ever. That we're not because of scarcity, but because of surplus. We need to prioritize what we do first.
We mapped these 292 processes and then we added them to the different roles that is being a part of the facility management team. And for instance, here, meter data quality agent, it is really a no-brainer. Add this agent to your data, whether it's energy meters or it's sensors, drifting CO2 sensors, for instance. Or monitoring the connectivity to your systems, for instance. We have an internal data quality or data monitoring agent supporting our customer success team to monitor our customers' systems uptime. And if we go to the field operations, I know one of you that is attending today, you had this question, can I collect all my work orders and plan according to that to optimize the field operations? Yes, because all these work orders or the assets, the planned inspections, for instance, or the unplanned maintenance, you can optimize that with, for instance, a field route optimizer. Well, and this the property manager that talked about this with insourcing stuff. She said, "Oh, now my on-site person can actually do some fire inspections. They're allowed to, but this is outsourced at the moment because they don't have the time to do this. Now they can do these inspections." I think it was a really good example of how AI also is upskilling our teams. So we have a few minutes left. Yeah. So let's have a quick view to the agency, just so you can see that this is not only slideware and marketing buzzwords.
And I think you need to go over the screen.
Stop sharing like this.
See how it works. So the agency, just so this is it's not something that is locked away. So all of what we have publicly on our website is also open source. So all of the prompts for the agents that we have and that we will build are open source. And what this boils down to, if we have the FM processes with a number of different tasks, it will boil down to many different agents that will carry out one task or one subtask, and they will be sometimes work together with more simple agents that prepare data for the more sophisticated experts. But just as if we think of the categories that we had before of triaging, enriching, and preventing, and predicting, and consolidating, let's look at a few of these agents and what they would do. So
you have 1 minute, Pierre.
Yeah. Thank you. Maybe the easiest and clearest top right. Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh. It's. I'll share again. Thank you.
I actually also have some sharing issues in my side. So yeah.
All right. So, did you see the agency?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what it will boil down to is there will be one agent that will be an expert in a process or a field, but probably there will be much more granular than that with an agent for every task or subtask. They will probably have their own sort of more junior assistants with the task runners that will carry out part of it. But let's then here look at the most easiest home run for a do it now is to just have an agent that look at all the incoming tickets that you have or upcoming work and prioritize, denoise, and route what they're doing. So this is one of the agents from our library, from our agency. So it will look at the incoming tickets. It will see what has been created, and just route it and make sure that we don't have misclassification or the wrong prioritization, or that it's routed in the wrong way. And it can also handle simple tasks that come in, just auto reply to incoming tickets. And it can also then make sure the status is correct. This is something that is definitely in the no-brainer category. Make sure you don't need to wade through everything that happens. The same thing is this agent that does the homework phase. So here, for all the tickets that someone is about to process, have an AI agent just add the relevant data to it, whether it's making sure that the metadata is legible, or getting the telemetry, so the historical data. If someone is going to see whether you need to replace some part, get the historical data of how many times the door has been opened, or how the equipment has performed, and get the similar service object so that you can help human operators to spot patterns, etc. So this is the second one that's clearly a no-brainer, to just make sure that you when you have your data lake, your Proptech OS, or whatever you have, make sure that you don't let your staff log in through different systems to try to extract the data that should be relevant for each task that they're going to do. So let them focus on the high impact part of the tasks. Make sure that everything is enriched when they get to it. And the third one, this consolidator, or that can also make sure that we go from 99 plus to manageable, to remove the noise from the signal, is this consolidator. So it has this raw, looks at everything that's coming in, and this could be in the FM system. It's perhaps even better with looking at technical alarms. So in BMS or SCADA. So now this is what I was talking about, the service of consolidator. So looking at everything coming in, and then spotting when there is something that can be merged, multiple tickets, multiple alarms about the same thing, or whether it's you can reclassify. This is just so that we can get from 99 plus with noise to a manageable number denoised, and those together with if we look at the agency, we have this for instance, the air filter predictor that will spot when it's time to predict to replace, go out and do on-site maintenance. We also, before I leave the demo, just this also idea of having a team of agents. So not only to have agents perform tasks, but to have agents working together. So let's see.
And while Piers find that, yes.
So here, if we have a predictive agent, in this case, this peak shaving agent, let another agent who has more perspective make the decision. And if you have set it up so that the decision is beyond what that agent should be allowed to do for themselves, then the agent will generate a prompt for a human, in this case myself, to take a decision on. So if we have automated the homework phase, automated the analysis and suggestion phase, then you could still have the decision be up to a human, like in this case, but that won't mean that the execution of the decision needs to be out of the agentic world. So here we sent it back to a supervisor agent that carried out the tasks. But that with a short flyby on sort of how to think about FM processes and task automation, and a little bit of a taste of what we have in the how to use what we have in the agency library already, and how it will fit together.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Pierre. And it has also some good relations to some of the former webinars, for instance, about how these agents are working together. And if you think this looks like something you could do yourself, yes, you can. Actually, you watch the first one where we actually go into details. How do you create an AI agent? So with this, we'll end up for now. Next time, it's about how to go from the data chaos to actually the agentic ready data foundation with a big focus on real estate core. And you can meet us live the next couple of weeks. We are only active 2 places, that are the Proptech Denmark Symposium. And then we also attending Gate 21, that has a workshop, a masterclass about AI-driven building optimization. But as usual, you have a link in the chat. We hope to see you for a deep dive where we take a one-to-one session with you, where we can speak together, watch each other, and ask for all this. Thank you for joining. I hope we'll see you again in 2 weeks or on the deep dive just after this. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.